Ritchie Valens could have become even bigger than Elvis Presley himself, but one small decision led him straight to tragedy. In this video, we'll explore his meteoric rise to fame, the heartbreaking end that turned him into a legend, and how his music forever changed the history of rock and roll. Let's begin. Richard Stephen Valenzuela Reyes was born on May 13, 1941 in Pacoima, California, into a family of Mexican descent. From a very young age, his parents, Joseph Valenzuela and Concepcion Reyes, noticed their son possessed a special sensitivity to music. While other children played in the streets, Richard immersed himself in the sounds around him, absorbing influences from traditional Mexican music, flamenco, blues, and rhythm and blues, genres that would later define his unique style. His father, recognizing his potential, decided to teach him how to play the guitar. But Richard wasn't content with mastering just one instrument. With remarkable self-taught skill, he also learned to play the trumpet and the drums. Perhaps the most striking aspect of his talent was that, although he was left-handed, he taught himself to play the guitar right-handed, a rare feat that reflected his incredible musical dexterity. During his years at Pacoima High School, Richard began to stand out not only as a musician, but also as a charismatic young man who radiated passion for music. He became a small celebrity among his classmates, often bringing his guitar to school to perform during lunch breaks or after class. These spontaneous performances planted in him the seed of a dream: to become a rock and roll star, a dream he would chase with unwavering determination, as you're about to see. In 1957, at just 16 years old, Richard joined a local band called The Silhouettes as their guitarist. From the very beginning, his charisma and talent on stage captivated everyone who saw him perform. His presence was so magnetic that, when the lead singer left the group, Richard became the natural choice to take his place, stepping into the role of lead vocalist and frontman. His talent didn't go unnoticed. During one of his performances, Bob Keane, owner of the record label Delphi Records, was struck by the young musician's energy and charm. Convinced of his potential, Keane invited him to record at his studio. There, the intensity and authenticity of Richard's music left everyone amazed. It was clear he was destined for something great. Bob Keane soon offered him a recording contract, and Richard accepted without hesitation. However, the producer suggested a significant change: to modify his stage name from Richard Valenzuela to Ritchie Valens, making it sound more commercial and appealing to the American market. Ritchie agreed to the suggestion, though not everyone approved. To some, the change represented a loss of his Mexican identity. Yet, it would be precisely that Mexican heritage that would later make him immortal, through a song that would change the history of rock forever, as we'll soon see. Ritchie Valens' first single, Come On, Let's Go, released in August 1958, marked the beginning of his meteoric rise in music.
Well, come on, let's go.
With its energetic blend of rock and roll and Latin rhythms, the song became an instant hit among teenagers. Its contagious energy and distinctive style helped it reach number 42 on the Billboard Hot 100 that fall, establishing Valens as one of rock's most promising young stars.
Pretty baby, I love you so well.
But his true leap to fame came with a ballad that touched the hearts of millions: Donna. Inspired by his high school sweetheart, Donna Ludwig, the song captured the purity of young love with a simplicity and emotion that made it unforgettable. Released in November 1958, the ballad climbed quickly through the charts, reaching number 2 on Billboard. Its melancholic tone and sincere lyrics allowed thousands of young listeners to see themselves reflected in its message, turning it into an anthem of teenage romance. Yet, despite these early successes, the best was still to come. Richie Valens was about to change the history of rock with a song that would transcend borders, generations, and cultures, as you're about to see. Up to that point, Spanish-language songs had little presence on American radio. But Richie Valens broke that barrier with his version of La Bamba. Curiously, the song was released as the B-side of the single Donna, with no one suspecting that it would surpass the ballad's success and make history in the world of music. Valens transformed this traditional son jarocho from the 17th century into a vibrant rock and roll piece, blending his Mexican roots with the energy of a new musical era. La Bamba had been performed for centuries by folk musicians, but Valens gave it his own signature, modernizing it with electric guitars and a more dynamic structure. When his producer, Bob Keane, suggested recording it in English to make it more commercial, Richie insisted on singing it in Spanish, even though he didn't speak the language fluently and had to learn the lyrics phonetically. What seemed like a risky move surprised everyone. La Bamba climbed rapidly up the charts, reaching number 2 on Billboard and becoming the first Spanish-language song to achieve massive success in the United States. Its triumph propelled Richie Valens' career, leading him to perform on iconic shows like American Bandstand and Alan Freed's Christmas Show. He was now a rising star, proving that Spanish also had a place within rock and roll. However, Richie Valens would never get to fully enjoy the impact that La Bamba would have on music and culture. An unexpected event was about to change everything. Before continuing, I invite you to subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our videos about rock legends. We upload videos every week, so let's continue. In 1959, Richie Valens joined the Winter Dance Party tour alongside rock and roll greats like Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Dion and the Belmonts. What was meant to be an exciting experience soon turned into a nightmare due to poor organization and exhausting travel conditions. The tour buses had no heating, and the freezing temperatures made several musicians ill. Tired of the unbearable situation, Buddy Holly decided to charter a small private plane after the concert in Clear Lake, Iowa, hoping to avoid another grueling overnight ride and get some rest before the next show. But the plane had room for only 4 people: the pilot, Roger Peterson, Buddy Holly, and 2 additional passengers. The Big Bopper, sick with the flu, traded places with Waylon Jennings, leaving just 1 seat open. Richie Valens had always been deeply afraid of flying, yet that night he chose to ignore his fear and bet for the remaining seat with guitarist Tommy Alsop, flipping a coin to decide who would board. Tragically, Richie won. At 1 a.m. on February 3rd, 1959, the Beechcraft Bonanza took off in the midst of a snowstorm. The pilot, young and inexperienced in flying under poor visibility, misread the navigation instruments, causing the plane to descend instead of climb. Just 8 kilometers after takeoff, it crashed into a frozen cornfield, killing Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. The tragedy became forever known as the day the music died, a phrase later immortalized in Don McLean's song American Pie. Richie Valens, who had broken barriers and transformed rock and roll with La Bamba, never lived to see the full impact of his legacy or how far his music would travel. Nearly 30 years after his death, in 1987, his story reached the big screen in the iconic film La Bamba, starring Lou Diamond Phillips. The movie not only revived his music but also introduced his life to a new generation, cementing his place in popular culture. That same year, the band Los Lobos recorded a new version of La Bamba for the film's soundtrack, achieving the unthinkable. Their rendition reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming the first Spanish-language song ever to do so. But there's a detail few people know. The Beatles were inspired by La Bamba when shaping the rhythm of Twist and Shout. borrowing from Valens his infectious energy and passionate style of performance. Incredibly, at just 17 years old, Ritchie Valens not only opened the doors of rock and roll for Latinos, he also helped inspire one of the greatest bands of all time. And speaking of the Beatles, have you ever wondered how their drummer, Ringo Starr, changed the history of rock? Don't miss this next video where we explore his life, his career, and the impact he had on music. Click here to watch it.